Morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome. We'll
Let's
get
get
started in a couple of minutes. I'm just going to give a few people a little bit more time to join. We've got quite a few registered today. We've got about 500 registered for this event, and we're currently around 175. So we'll just give people a couple more minutes to join, and then we'll get going.
Generally on time, right?
Hey, Scott. Nice to see you.
It is. South Coast Saturday was the last time, wasn't it? I think.
It was, yeah.
Oh.
I thought that was me, and I didn't I thought that was me, and I didn't recognize you.
Wrong, Scott. Sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. Just unusual to have a first name of Scott in this country, it seems. Yeah.
All right, let's get going. I think people will continue to join as we go through the session. Thanks everyone for taking the time to join us today. We really appreciate that you're all extraordinarily busy, no doubt, but we've got some very cool things to share with you today. So today's session we'll be talking about the new planner, the announcements from Microsoft in particular from Ignite, and a bit of a recap on what those were. And a little bit about when you can expect to get some stuff in your tenant around the new planner, and how that will impact you. So just before we start, a few items of housekeeping. If you wouldn't mind, please just keep your mics on mute, just so we're not distracting everyone else or me. My attention span is not great, so I just need to focus on what we're talking about today. There is, however, a Q&A chat, and we've got a few moderators on the call today who will be responding to the Q&A. There's also the chat feature enabled in Teams as well, so feel free to ask any questions you might have in the chat or in the Q&A function on Teams. Just a disclaimer though, your questions can be seen by anyone, so ask away, but just note that anyone can see those. We will also have an open Q&A session at the end where you're welcome to come off of mute and turn your camera on and have a chat with us. This session is recorded and we will be publishing it later on, so if you don't want your face or your voice visible on our website on this recording, feel free to turn off your camera or just type in the chat if you don't want to speak. So we will share the recording after the session. You'll be able to access it through our website as well. And a few bits of this webinar are the IP of CPS and of Microsoft. Some of the stuff in here is still preview features, so I'll be talking about those and are subject to change. So just be a little bit aware of that, and please don't share or download or disseminate all of this content on your own without asking us. So who am I? I've met a few of you on this call already. My name is Lester. I'm the head of practice for our modern work management department here at CPS. I've been doing this at CPS for 18.5 years now, pretty much my entire career. So working for CPS is great for me. Modern work management at CPS is effectively everything to do with managing work, regardless of the tools that we're talking about. So it's to-do planner, project for the web, if you've come across that before, project online, it's Power BI, Power Apps, Power Automate, and everything that really makes us productive as an organization. So that's what I do. Really grand title for the job, but that's it in a nutshell. If you want to connect with me, the QR code that's on screen right now is a QR code for my LinkedIn. Feel free to take a picture of that add me on LinkedIn. I've got a pretty distinctive name, so you should be able to find me quite easily. And I work for CPS. And who are CPS? Well, we are the leading project partner in the UK. We've been around since 1995, focusing on project predominantly, but we do a whole bunch of other stuff as well. So not only do we do project, we also work across Microsoft 365, and I'll come to some of that in a moment. We're Microsoft Partner of the Year, 2-time award winners. We have multiple advanced specializations, multiple gold competencies, and all of our consultants are ProSci adoption and change management accredited as well. So we don't just talk about technology, we talk about landing technology and making sure it's embedded within your organization. We also have multiple Microsoft MVPs. If you're not aware of what an MVP is, it's someone who really is passionate about the technology, and they love to evangelize it and talk to everyone about it. And that's been recognized by Microsoft. So it's a special award saying you've done great stuff in the community, and we've got a few of those in the org. We are also on multiple frameworks. So we're on G-Cloud, Digital Outcomes, Chrome Commercial Service, JOSCAR. So if you want to engage with us to do some work with you, you can find us on multiple frameworks. And then what do we do? So we're talking today about work management, which is Project Planner and all those other applications I talked about previously. We also work in digital culture and things like Viva, so employee experience and employee engagement. We work in business applications with Power Platform, bespoke Power Apps, Power BI reporting, and so forth. Also in cybersecurity. So if you need any help with SC&I, security compliance, we can help there. And we're also in UC, Unified Communications, so we can help you out with Teams Voice and a whole bunch of other stuff. And then, of course, cloud transformation, so everything else in Microsoft 365 or Azure. We've got consultants in all of those areas as well. So again, just a disclaimer, some of the features that you're going to see are were under NDA, they're not so much anymore. But they are still preview for some of the things, so subject to change, just be aware of that. So a couple of polls. First of all, what tools do you use to manage your work? A poll will pop up in Teams in a moment. If you wouldn't mind just having a look and giving us a response, that would be really helpful. Give everyone a minute to just do that. See the results coming through now. As I expected, it's a pretty broad set of results, so lots of people still in Excel. Strangely, that's one of Microsoft's biggest productivity tools. It does exactly what you want it to. I'm sure you've got macros galore that makes your operation run. Good few people in to do, excellent. So there's lots of personal work management going on there. Planner, yep, excellent. 23% of people here using Planner. And project, 20%. So the more dyed-in-the-wool traditional project managers there. And 8% at the moment with other PPM tools. Wonderful, thank you. So today we're going to be talking about what the work management landscape looks like. So it's kind of a breakdown between two things, collaborative work management and enterprise work management, where collaborative work management might be more of the informal project managers, people who are given some activities to run. You might not recognize it necessarily as project management, quote unquote. It might be small pieces of work that you're managing on a day-to-day basis. So it could be individual tasks, team projects. You might do it on Kanban boards for those of you who are using Planner, dragging stuff between your various categories. You might be setting goals and achieving against those. It might be managing your team's workload. It might include dependencies, issues, risks, that sort of thing. There's a whole raft of the lower end of maturity of work management. And then there's enterprise management, work management, which is more around the traditional project landscape. So you might be a professional project manager. You might have an accreditation that goes with that, whether it's a Prince 2 or an APM or something like that. You might work in a PMO and recognize projects through a formal pipeline with stage gate controls. You might manage portfolios on the exec team. You might do Agile and Scrum and more formal Agile work management methods. You may do things like detailed resource management, so figuring out where you've got capacity hotspots, who's overworked, who's underloaded, where do you need to hire, what would happen if you move some projects around, what does that do to your resource profiles. You might be aligning your work to OKRs, objectives and key results, to make sure that your delivery is linked to your strategy and your strategy is informing your delivery. You may do some formal reporting. It might be in the form of highlight reporting or portfolio dashboards. There's a whole bunch of stuff around reporting that enterprise work management informs. And you may do things like cost management to do your forecasts out of your project plans and recognize your actuals back in from your finance systems, for example. And then there's advanced scheduling that goes with all of that. So setting up activities that are interlinked in a waterfall or an agile method. You may have lead and lag built into your schedules. So there's two methods for recognizing work that Microsoft have identified. And traditionally, in previous Microsoft tools, the focus was predominantly on the enterprise work management sector. So if you're looking at something like Project Online, that was very much focused at an enterprise PPM tool. So this is recognizing that people work differently, and actually there's a whole section of organizations that deals with collaborative work management. So some stats here, 59% of employees say that their collaboration tools aren't aligned with how their teams prefer to work. So you may have experienced this where you're told to get on board with the tools that the organization uses and there's no flexibility there. 64% of employees say that current collaboration tools don't integrate with processes. So again, it's about joining tools up with business processes and not letting technology wag the tail of the process dog, making sure that the two things go hand in glove. And 72% of employees surveyed wish that their collaboration tools were compatible with each other. So not working in siloed pieces of technology, but having a unified landscape. Which is where the new Microsoft Planner comes in. And the new Microsoft Planner is aiming to bring together to-do, tasks, plans, and projects all under one banner. So collaborative work management is a concentrated effort to kind of streamline work management through a set of apps that add structure to all of the unseen parts of work productivity. So all of that is now coming under one familiar experience for task and project management. The new planner brings together your tasks, your plans, and your projects across Microsoft 365 into one place. It's aimed to be simple, so easy to use and allowing you to manage all your work in a single place. It's aiming to be flexible, letting teams work the way they want, not siloing you into one Gantt chart or one product. But more importantly, it's meant to be scalable. So starting at the right place for your work needs. If you start working on a piece of delivery that actually is very simple, you may start managing it in To-Do, or you may start managing it in Planner. But it's about having the ability to grow that piece of work into a more professional maturity curve, so you can turn that into a formal Gantt chart, for example. And then finally, making it intelligent. So enabling outcomes with AI through the use of things like Copilot. And we'll talk a bit about Copilot in Planner as we go through this presentation. So I'm just going to play a short video here. This is from Robin Guerrillo, who's the product manager for Planner, and it's going to give you a bit of an introduction into what the new Planner is.
or goals and objectives. Or start with a blank plan to create any plan that you need.
Great. So hopefully something in there for everyone, a good summary of some of the features. And we'll talk, as I said earlier, in more detail about Copilot in Planner shortly. So in terms of timelines, the new Planner experience will be available in early 2024. We're looking, I think, around March, April time for some of those new experiences. There's a more detailed timeline coming up in these slides shortly. And then later in 2024, it'll be generally available. So the new Planner experience in Teams, that's the tasks by Planner and To Do, that'll be coming and rolling out very shortly. And then a bit more about the whole new Planner web experience later. So next poll question. We're talking about AI and we're talking about Copilot in particular. I'd just like to take your temperature on what your experience with Copilot is so far. So we're just going to again run a quick poll just to see how familiar people are with it. Should be popping up any second now. Here we are. So tell us, what do you know about Copilot? So 208 responses so far. Some interesting feedback here. What is Copilot? Is a good third of the responses here. Interesting. So hopefully you'll get a bit of an insight into what Copilot is as we go through this, and in particular, what Copilot within Planner is going to do. Just a brief overview though. Copilot is the new generative language model from Microsoft. It allows you to ask questions about your data and ask questions about other data, and to automate a lot of the mundane tasks within Microsoft 365. So a good few people have seen demos or read about it. A third of people are actually getting started with it. That's encouraging to see. AI is coming, so hopefully after this you'll all be a little bit more familiar with what it is. So thanks everyone for your responses. We're going to play again a short video in a moment about what Copilot is, and in particular Copilot in Planner. So let's give you a bit of an overview for what this is. Fantastic. So Copilot is coming to Planner, and that's actually quite a cool thing. As you saw from the video, it enables us to automate a lot of the plan generation, a lot of the task generation. Even if you are a professional project manager who's done project delivery many times before, it's great having an assistant to check your work sometimes. So Copilot in Planner, we'll talk about some of the initial capability of what it can do. But it's going to be included in your Planner Premium licensing. And again, we'll talk about that a little bit later on. So immediately, Microsoft Copilot chat experiences in Microsoft 365 and Power Platform are available, subject to your licensing. So that's Copilot in Microsoft 365. So think Office, Word, PowerPoint, Excel. All of those Copilots are available now. In early 2024, so again, sort of March, April time, Copilot in Planner will be generally available in Teams. So in the new app that's coming to Teams to manage all of your work in a single place, Copilot will be available there. And then later in 2024, Copilot in Planner directly through the web experience will be generally available. So we'll share some links a bit later on to the project roadmap, or the Planner roadmap as it will soon be called. And that will give you some more solid information that you can follow about when these features are coming. So we saw a little bit about early capabilities of Copilot. So you'll be looking at things like prompt-based commands, plan creation, go and create me a project related to my marketing launch, give me some example activities and tasks, and tell me about some of the risks that I might be experiencing for this type of project. You'll be able to do some Q&A. So the risk thing that I just mentioned, are there any other things I need to consider as part of this marketing launch? And it'll also be able to send status emails as well about the status of your project. The Copilot platform itself, so Microsoft 365 Copilot is built, as we said, on generative AI. So it's part of the Azure AI. It is extensible if you wanted to get into that that realm to do something a little bit more bespoke, so you can build your own custom AIs using things like Copilot Studio, which was announced again not very long ago. So planning scenarios then, goal setting, you saw through the video, it's about being able to say what your project is likely to achieve. And then from that goal, being able to work backwards to say, what do we need to do in order to achieve this goal? It can help you organize your project plan in terms of setting tasks and activities. It's still on you to come up with some durations and start dates. The AI isn't good enough to read minds yet, but I'm sure we'll be there at some point. And also organizing your plan, so making sure that it flows logically. And then in terms of project management scenarios, Planner will be looking at being able to update your plan based on information you give it, expanding the scope of certain subtasks or activities. You know, we need a second round of UAT. Please help me plan that out. And it'll be able to help you expand that section. It'll be able to help you identify risks or issues with your project, especially if you start adding in things like progress and being able to identify when things aren't on track. It'll help you triage new work in your project plans, mitigate risks, and actually plan the activities to mitigate your risks at the right point in your schedules, and checking on progress through status emails. And then in terms of execution, it's what steps do we need to complete a task, and being able to assign people to activities based on the activities that you're planning. Help you find experts for help with tasks in your organization, across your organization, assuming you're identifying and tagging people with the relevant skills. Updating task progress, again, through status updates via email or directly in your planner schedules, or finding context for tasks or topics. So I need to understand a little bit more about marketing, help me find someone to do that, or tell me about the context of this project based on the other information within our organization. Enterprise work management. So if you're looking at Planner Premium, there are other parts of Planner that are out there. Some of you may be familiar with Project for the Web, which is kind of the next iteration of standard Planner in Office 365. So it gives you capability like Gantt charts. It gives you capability like being able to do enterprise portfolio reporting using tools like Power BI. The Planner Accelerator that's available for free from Microsoft is effectively a Power App that sits on top of Planner, on top of Planner Premium or Project for the Web, as it was known. And it enables you to do things like create dashboards using Power BI, to generate and capture demand using ideation and surfacing data to individuals to put forward their requests that you can then triage through a process and turn into real projects. It enables you to do program management. So grouping and aggregating projects together to get top level information about how things are performing and being able to set statuses against your programs. It enables you to capture rich project data. So not just what is the project name, but also things like who is the sponsor, who is the SRO, who's working on this project, what risks and issues do we have associated to this project. It enables you to do resource management by assigning individuals to tasks and being able to see capacity and demand data. And it also allows you to extend the native accelerator into your own configured system, so making it very specific to your organization. Planner in Teams we've talked about. So this is the new planner that's coming to Teams, the new app. So it's about managing tasks from multiple work management tools. So it will bring together activities from to-do, from plans in Planner, and projects in Planner Premium, and put them all under one app for you in Teams. So this is coming up very, very shortly in Teams. You'll be able to see any tasks that you've been assigned to across those workloads. What else is coming? Well, professional projects. For those of you who manage projects, perhaps in Microsoft Project Desktop. In Planner Premium, you'll now be able to do lead and lag against any activity, so putting delays in or overlapping tasks based on the logic that you build in. Baselining will be coming to Planner Premium. It will allow you to set a baseline to say, this is what we have all agreed to, and then track against that baseline. And it allows you to capture things like project level variance to see whether the project as a whole is delivering against what you said you wanted to do. Those features will be behind a Project Plan 3 license. If you're not familiar with what that is, we are running a webinar in a couple of weeks around licensing for all of this. It does also enable you to have an increased project scale. So at the moment, it's up to 1,000 tasks per project, and they're looking at increasing that. So Microsoft are looking at increasing to 1,500, maybe 2,000 tasks. They're also bringing in the ability to track and manage portfolios in Planner Premium. So portfolios is taking projects, programs, and aggregating them under a portfolio banner. So there'll be a new entity created in Dataverse that enables you to track and manage your portfolios and actually also to report on your portfolios. There will be a portfolio to project relationship where you can physically associate a project and a portfolio together. It will also enable you to have external projects relating to your portfolios. And this capability will be under Project Plan 5. It does also enable you to set statuses against portfolios to say whether your portfolio on the whole is on track or not. And the eagle-eyed amongst you may have noticed in the screenshot, there are different icons against the portfolios here. So it's about managing work in a single pane of glass from multiple different tools, whether it's Azure DevOps, Planner, or somewhere else. There'll be the ability to pull some data in. Now, the UI that you're seeing there, as you may have seen, is not the actual UI yet. It's still TBD, but this is coming very, very soon. And then something that's actually quite exciting, if you're a bit of a nerd like me, compliance. So historically, the Microsoft workload has not been available through compliance, through things like SCNI, being able to track and manage what data is going into systems. So coming up in the new wave of releases, Microsoft Purview will be able to look at project data and make sure that the information that's going in there is protected, that it's not being shared externally where it's not allowed to be, that people aren't downloading and sending proprietary information out, that it has a life cycle that's managed appropriately and has retention policies applied to it. So there's a whole bunch of cool stuff coming with Purview that enables you to cast an eye across your entire portfolio of work and make sure it's controlled within your organizational policies. So based on what you've seen so far, another poll. What feature of Planner Premium are you most looking forward to? There'll be a new poll just pop up now. This is multiple choice, so don't feel railroaded into picking just one. I personally am most looking forward to Copilot and also to the portfolio capability, but don't let me sway you. All right, good split here. So Copilot is up there, but the new Planner app for Teams, most people are looking forward to that. It's an excellent piece of capability, being able to pull in work regardless of where you're managing it. So whether it's To Do, whether it's Planner, or whether it's Planner Premium, being able to pull all of that work together under Teams. Love that. Great, thank you. So very busy slide coming up. Don't worry too much about this. This is just a bit of a feature comparison in terms of the licensing. As I said, we are running a specific webinar all about licensing for the new Planner, and there'll be a link to that at the end of these slides. So just an overview then. The licensing for Planner for Microsoft 365, that is all under your E3, E5 licensing. If you want to use some of the premium capability that we've talked about, so anything in Planner Premium using Gantt charts and so on, that will be under Project Plan 1, Plan 3, and Plan 5, depending on the type of capability that you're looking to leverage. And also the Copilot features will be under Plan 3, Plan 5, most likely. So if you want to learn a bit more, there's a whole bunch of announcements from Microsoft. There's a whole raft of information about getting Planner adopted within your organization. That's the Planner adoption. Click on any of these links. They should be clickable through the Teams meeting for you. You can follow us on socials. So both Microsoft and CPS are on there. You can request trials for Planner Premium capability. And you can have a look at all of the demo videos that I've shared today and a whole bunch more. So how does CPS help? What do we do? Well, we do all sorts of things. So we do Project for the Web / Planner Premium, both native capability and also our solution accelerators, which I'll come on to in a little bit more. If you're still using Project Online, we can help you with that. If you're using Power BI or you want to leverage Power BI within your organization to capture and report on any sort of work management within your organization or any sort of KPIs and measures in your organization, we can help with that. Ditto Power Apps. So if you want to do something with Planner Premium, you want to look at extending maybe the Microsoft capabilities in Planner Premium, that is bread and butter for my team. We've done it hundreds of times. Similarly, Power Automate, if there are assurance checks that you want to build in, you want to build in a stage gate workflow, you want to get sign-offs on documentation, Power Automate's the tool for that. And we absolutely can deal with any requirements in that space. We have standardized implementation life cycles. So we have a standard framework. We can either work in a waterfall methodology or we can work in agile sprint-based approaches for you. Some of our offerings are fixed price. Some are variable, depending on how you want to work with us. And then in terms of extensibility, well, we've got a whole bunch of stuff that we've done bespoke for customers outside of the realms of the native capability. If you wanted to look at perhaps getting a grip on your pipeline management processes, we've done that before. If you want to have a look at governance and assurance and being able to provide a PMO layer over the top of all your projects, programs, portfolios, all of your work, and making sure things are both timely updated to a relevant standard, and people are following the processes, we can help with that. And same for approval automation. If you want to make sure that there is some level of audit trail across everything, approvals, we can do all of that too. And many, many more things as well. Some links on screen about how you could go ahead and get Project for the Web or Planner Premium deployed. This is about the Power App. So the Power App side of things, you can click on these links, go and find out a bit more about it. There's some links to security roles. There's a link to go and download the accelerator itself if you wanted to look at trialing this in your tenant. And then some of the offerings that we have, well, we can help you with proof of concepts. We have some fixed price. Let us come and help you get Planner Premium set up, deploy the accelerator with you if you've never done it, talk to your IT and infrastructure folks about it if maybe you haven't even looked at Power Platform yet. We have fixed price, fixed scope deployment offerings where we have our own accelerators to fill some of the gaps within the native capability. We can share those with you and we can talk about what's in scope there. So a known quantity, a known price to get you up and running in weeks, not months. Or we can do something very bespoke. So absolutely, if nothing on the menu fits, you come and talk to the chef and we'll cook you something very, very specific. So if you have requirements that you really want to address and you're not sure if it's even possible, talk to us. I'm sure we can help somehow. And then finally, there are pilot programs available through Microsoft with CPS. In particular, there's a pilot program around Viva Goals. If you're not familiar with Viva Goals, it's about setting organizational strategy using OKRs, objectives and key results, and being able to break those top level objectives down into measurable and actionable entities. And then where Project or Planner Premium comes in is about linking your delivery, your projects back to those objectives and key results to make sure that you're delivering the right things, that you're on track, and you're actually moving the needle on your strategic objectives. So there are pilot programs available out there, and of course we can help you with just Viva Goals if that's something you're interested in, or something in between. You know, if there's nothing on this menu that fits, our service catalog is available on CPS's website. You can have a look through there, and it has all of our offerings in it. So what's next for you? Well, you can talk to us. You can set up a call, get in touch. My contact details will be coming up again if you want to get in contact with me directly. And we can arrange just a 45-minute chat to see where you are, see where you want to get to, and help you maybe come up with a roadmap. So are you even thinking about Planner Premium? Are you thinking about Planner? Are you thinking about To Do? Is there some method that you want to use to get a fully functioning, well-oiled PMO in place? We can help with all of those things. You just need to talk to us. And then a few links on this page, so you can go and read some of our testimonials, our case studies. The link there, what our clients say about us. We're only as good as the last few projects that we've delivered. Go and have a look, find out about the good work we've been doing. There's a link there to our events. That's all of the webinars and in-person events that we run. But in particular, the next one that's coming up in the planner space is the follow-up webinar about how do you license all of this? What are the license implications? What capability do you get under each license? That's coming up on the 14th of March at 10:30. Feel free to go and register for that if you want to find out a little bit more about how you would license this within your tenant. We're also running an in-person event that we're calling the Planner Conference. It will be CPS and Microsoft in London, and that'll be on the 17th of April. If you want to come down and meet us face to face, I'll be there along with a few of my colleagues. along with some Microsoft representatives as well. Come and talk to us, and we'll be able to address some specific requirements. So we'll have some presentations and a bit more information about that in due course, but there's a link there to go and sign up. It is limited in places, so if you did want to come, get in early to avoid disappointment. Q&A. I'm sure we have some questions, so now is the time. Other CPS people, have we had any questions in the chat that we need to that we can pull out now?
Lots, Lester. That was great, by the way. Thank you very much for that. Big round of applause.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's really, really good. Loads of questions. I think if you're new to Planner and you want some training, go to learn.microsoft.com. It's actually the best place to go and find out everything about Microsoft technology in a slightly deeper way than the marketing site, for example. So yeah, that would be my first stop. Lots of questions about API integration and those kind of things. I think we'll have to take those offline and have a look at that.
Just looking at the one about audit trails, because that's the first one that's popped up. The audit trail one is interesting. So if you're using the Planner Power App, you can turn on auditing within there. There is also task history that comes with it, so you can have a look at the full history of any task within your project. And if you've got issues with people deleting tasks, well, in Planner Premium you can actually lock that down to say that only certain individuals can make edits to your schedules. So lots of things you could do there.
Okay, so that was the main kind of bit. I did see someone's hand go up, I thought. But if, yeah, that was that. Okay, and let me look in the Q&A as well. Patrick, do you want to come off mute and ask a question?
Yes, Christopher, thank you. I have two questions. One is that we use Planner in Teams, and when we create shared channel, then we are not able to create Planner. So there are like technical limitations. So question is, when will be Planner supported in channel which is type shared channel? So this is one question. And second question is related to project for the web and tasks which are edited, and then I use this project in a roadmap. In a roadmap, these tasks are not visible like this is completed. So when will be integrated any improvements regarding the roadmap and task in project? Thank you.
Okay, so the second part, tasks in your roadmap, it depends which environment you're in. Are you using your default environment or are you using a custom environment within Power Apps?
Default environment.
Default environment. Okay, so that should work. I'm interested to see why it doesn't work. Perhaps we could help you there and take a look for you, Patrick. The first part of your question, I actually don't know the answer to that about shared channels, but it's something we can ask and we can find out for you.
Great, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Daniel.
Daniel, do you want to come on? Oh, there you go. Hello.
Hello. So presently in Planner for the Web, if you add a custom column to a project, those custom columns are not accessible in other products of the Power Platform. They're only accessible in Project for the Web. Is there any change of that in the new Planner?
Not immediately, but it is on the development roadmap. So we have fortnightly catch-ups with the Microsoft product teams. They are looking at enterprise custom fields and being able to set those up as part of your admin side of things and make them reportable and visible within the native schedule and native and visible across all schedules. So not yet, but it is coming.
Thank you.
No problem.
And James Can. James was there, now he's gone. Okay.
Hi, can you hear me now? Yep.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes.
So, question around will Planner Premium support sharing projects or plans with external users? So you can do that currently with Planner, but you can't with Project for the Web.
So you can with Project for the Web, and you will be able to with Planner Premium as well. It depends on your external sharing policies, clearly, but there are some links which I'll ask my colleague Sam to dig out and pop into the chat for you, James, so you've got reference to sharing your projects externally.
But I guess it requires them to have appropriate licensing on that external user for the Plan 3. Okay. And the second question is related to that, sorry, is currently we have slight challenges using Project because we aren't allowed to create groups. So we can't create a group per project for those people on that project. So the only way with Project Web is to go into Power App and add and do it there, which is fairly convoluted. Is there going to be capability to share a project easily within the new Planner app to individuals?
So it depends what you mean by easily. That capability hasn't changed, so Microsoft 365 groups are still the backbone of that. You're not by any chance on the NHS Central tenant, are you, James?
Say that again, sorry. Not on the.
You're not NHS, are you?
No.
Okay. They experience the same issues where they're not able to create external groups or create Microsoft 365 groups. So very familiar to us. So you can do it, but not with Microsoft 365 groups. You can do it using specific security roles to set those up in Planner Premium. Okay. It's just not. It's not end user friendly, let's say.
Fine. Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
Should we wrap it?
Yeah. Yeah, we will share a link to the recording, Kalpesh, no problem at all.
Actually, there's just one thing with that, Lester. If we don't have people's email addresses, they won't get it. So if you didn't register and you just turned up, we may not have your email address. So if you could email hello@cps.co.uk, then we can look to add you to that.
Absolutely.
Brand.
Right. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for joining.
Yeah,
hopefully you found this useful. And we look forward to seeing you at the next one.
I'll end the meeting, Lester.